Hi, I'm Pamela Ugwudike, and I'm a Professor of Criminology at the University of Southampton. I'm also a fellow of the Alan Turing Institute, which is the UK's National Institute for Data Science and Artificial Intelligence. I initially trained as a lawyer, and then I went on to undertake postgraduate studies in criminology and criminal justice. And I've been involved in applied criminal justice research for over 15 years now. My projects have explored how to embed research-informed skills in probation and youth justice practice in order to reduce reoffending. But my current research focuses on how to identify and mitigate the challenges of data-driven digital technologies that are used in justice systems. And this includes the risk assessment tools that probation services use to predict risks of reoffending and harm. Now, such tools have become a key feature of criminal justice practice around the world. But studies suggest that they can give rise to several challenges, including biased decision-making. So for several years now, I've led studies that have examined the technologies and explored how to identify and address such problems. One of my studies, which was funded by the Alan Turing Institute, focused on this and found that bias can arise when, for example, the technologies rely on historical criminal justice data, like records of previous arrests and convictions. Such data can contain biases. To give you an example, arrest and conviction rates can be higher for groups or certain minorities that are monitored and arrested or convicted at a higher rate than others. So the technologies can inherit such biases and reproduce them in their predictions by giving the affected groups higher risk scores than they deserve. Now, at a systemic level, such predictions can give rise to negative discrimination because the higher risk scores can expose people affected to sanctions that are more severe than those imposed on others. Also, scarce resources that should be targeted at those who pose higher risks of reoffending may then be expended on the individuals who are wrongly labeled by the technologies as high risk. A wider societal implication of this is that the tools can reinforce existing societal biases. So my research studies explore how to identify and mitigate such problems, which are associated with, predictive and other data-driven technologies that are deployed by justice systems around the world. So what can probation officers do to avoid discriminatory practice when they use such tools? So I can suggest 3 things. My studies and others indicate that when probation staff use the technologies, which, as I said, includes risk assessment tools, the tools should not supplant professional judgment. Probation officers should aim to use the tools solely as decision-making guides. One of the many reasons for this is that technologies, in fact, struggle to take into account the contextual information required for individualized and localized assessments. Another thing that probation officers can do is to ensure that the processes through which the technologies make predictions and allocate risk scores are transparent. So, probation services can introduce measures that allow individuals who are being risk assessed to evaluate and understand how and why the risk assessment is being conducted, the risk factors that will influence predictions, and why they have been given a particular risk score. All these will improve transparency and will also enhance trust in both the technologies and probation decision-making more broadly. Another thing that probation officers can also do is participate in regular training on how to use the technologies to deliver high-quality services and fair outcomes for all. And probation services should make such training available.